whispers in the sky, threads of light where stars align.
Dear family of light, today we will talk about the archetype of the warrior, which is an archetype that fascinated me. You can find it in many traditions, in many books, in the literature, and also when I was growing up, I found this archetype in a beautiful anime of the 80s. Actually, the manga was end of 70s, and then they produced an anime out of it. Was called Ken il Guerriero, which in Italian means Ken the Warrior, but the original title in English was The Fist of the North Star. And the original title in Japanese was Okuto no Ken, and was about this martial art school called Okuto, which were fighting. I mean, they were the descendant of this school. They were fighting to bring peace again in the world. The setting of the world was like end of the 90s, in which they predicted that there will be a nuclear war. So the world was totally devastated and was violence everywhere. So it was a super violent thing to watch, in line with many things in the 80s. But inside of the violence, there were also many archetypes, the archetype of the wise, of the magician, of the king, and of course the archetype of the warrior. And the warrior was the savior that will bring peace finally to planet Earth. And also many values like sacrifice, true love, unconditional love, and all these things were coming out of this anime. And this somehow impacted me and my research of spiritual understanding. And when I met my yoga teacher, he always told me, I am training warriors, not monks. And here we have to separate a little bit two different paths. The monk decide to go in a monastery, so he accept a religion that impose some rule upon him, and he accept a long tradition, such as Christianism or Buddhism or Islamism or whatever it is, or Hinduism. And he renounced to wealth, he renounced to money, but he doesn't have to worry about. He doesn't have to worry about relationship or worry about bills to pay or how to achieve food, because everything is given to him by the monastery itself. Of course, the limitation, the freedom limitation sometimes is not very useful in your spiritual path, because these rules that are imposed above you from a religion, especially big religion, limit the possibility of the person. And so sometimes instead of growing more spiritually, actually, you grow more frustrated and more rigid. These rules don't apply to every human being. So I will argue that the path of the monk is only for some special individual that are born for this life. And there are beautiful monks out there. I met some of them. But most of the monks that I met, they didn't achieve real peace. They didn't achieve consciousness in a deep sense of the word. The warrior, on the other side, is inside society. It has to train not only the meditation, it has to train the physical body. He needs to be strong because he needs to pay bills and live in a society which most of the time is aggressive. We know, well, I mean, go to corporate world and you will see how much aggressiveness is there. Even to cross the road in a big city sometimes is dangerous, and you need the muscle to do it. So you have to train your body, you have to train your mind, and you have to train your spirit with meditation. the goal of the warrior is to live an impeccable life, or at least you should use words that are impeccable. That means that you should weight the word that you say, you should weight the action that you take, and most important of all, you have to take fully responsibility for your action and the outcome of your action. If you take responsibility, total responsibility of your action, then you can do what you want. You can get drunk, you can smoke, you can have sex, but you are accepting the consequence of all this action. It's not just I do the action for pleasure and then I will not accept the pain that will come from all those pleasure. So you have to train yourself to give importance and to things that really matters and that brings really peace to your life. In order to live like a warrior, you have to ask yourself some question. Are my action aligned to my mission of this plan? And have I found what I have to do in this lifetime? My behavior are driven by what exactly? Why I am doing this action today? Why I am going to talk with this person? This person really need this talk? I really need this talk to grow or not? Or is just chit chat to pass the day? So all these things you have to start to question yourself. Asking yourself and see why you live in a certain way, why you act in a certain way, and the thoughts that are in your mind are really in line with your path, with your goals, or not. And if not, then you have to clean your thought. You have to build new thought that can bring you nearer and nearer to your goals or what you want really in life. Many people, if you ask what they want in life, sometimes they don't know, but at the end, everybody wants peace. Nobody wants to live in struggle. But if you check their action, most of the time their action brings them to stress and to not so nice situation. And so try to observe more and more why you are doing certain things. Be aware and be responsible of your action. So the archetype of the warrior is present in many traditions. And as we said before, they are present in books. Carlos Castaneda was talking a lot about the warrior. And Dan Millman, in the beautiful book which is called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, talks about how a warrior acts not because of the outcome, but because he knew that this action is needed, so he take it. And he forget about the outcome. This is, for example, the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita taught us to act without thinking about the outcome. The worst situation in which you can stay in is to just lay on a sofa and thinking about tomorrow, about yesterday, about all the problems. This is called the action in inaction, which is the way of the fool, because the wise live in inaction, in action. That means he acts, but inside he is empty. There is no analyze of his action. He just do a thing because he feels that this is what he wants to do, is his meditation. And this is a real nice place to be. And this is why I come here to do this video, because I feel that I have to do this, not because I really think that I can help anybody. Maybe I can, I don't know. But the main reason is because for me is an act of meditation. This is the most important thing for me. You might say it's a bit egoistical, but presence comes when you give to yourself peace. And then you will see that the peace that you create inside yourself will spread out. So it will help. As a consequence, it will help other people. But if you struggle a lot to help other people and then you are agitated, well, then you will not help anybody. So try to find a way of living which is not so difficult. I mean, if you constant struggle and go against the flow, then this is not your path. But the warrior is also trained to accept difficulties, struggle. I mean, no path comes without struggle and difficult thing. So be aware of your action, of what you do, of your thought, and for now, be at peace, be at peace.